Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to the HeidelbergCement India Limited Q2 and H1 FY22 conference call hosted by PhillipCapital India Private Limited. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star then zero on your touchtone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Vaibhav Agarwal from PhillipCapital India Private Limited. Thank you and over to you.
Thank you, Stanford. Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of PhillipCapital India Private Limited, we welcome you to the Q2 FY22 and H1 FY22 conference call for HeidelbergCement India Limited. On the call, we have with us Mr. Jamshed Naval Cooper, Managing Director, and Mr. Anil Sharma, Chief Financial Officer at HeidelbergCement India Limited. I would like to mention on behalf of HeidelbergCement India Limited and its management that certain statements that may be made or discussed on this conference call may be forward-looking statements related to future developments and current performance. These statements may be subject to a number of risks, uncertainties, and other important factors which may cause the actual developments and results to differ materially from the statements made. HeidelbergCement India Limited and the management of the company assumes no obligation to update or alter these forward-looking statements, whether as a result of new information or future events or otherwise. Also, HeidelbergCement India Limited has uploaded a copy of the Q2 FY22 presentation on the stock exchanges and its website. Participants may download a copy of the presentation from these websites. I will now hand over the floor to the management of HeidelbergCement India Limited for their opening remarks, which will follow by interactive Q&A. Thank you and over to you, Cooper, sir.
Thank you, Vaibhav, and thank you everybody for joining for this call. You have received our presentations, and you would have gone through it, but nevertheless, I'll reiterate while we are on the slide number 3. On the ESG projects which we are talking about, we are in the advanced stages of alternative fuels and also very close to our commissioned, almost ready to be commissioned solar power plant at 5.5 megawatt at Narsingar. We have signed some solar projects, some agreements on power purchase for close to about 22 gigawatt hours of power for our Jhansi unit, and that is green power. Total share of our green power as of now stands at 27% for Heidelberg. And we continue to produce 100% blended cement. As you know that capacity utilization for us for this quarter has been 78, and it has been a variance of multiple months. So it has scanned from 90% also we have touched during the quarter, one of the months. Coming to the EBITDA, it is 946 per ton, which is 17% lower than the previous than the year-on-year quarter basis, and there are reasons for it. We can answer that. Dividend is we started this journey, and now since we are from a non-dividend paying company to a dividend paying company, we have reached about 80% of our dividend is being paid. We continue to operate on our net working capital, and cash flows as a net cash bank is about 80 crores. Taking you to the next slide, which I mentioned to you, it is a picture of our Narsingar AFR project, which is now in trial runs, and I think we should be able to stabilize it within another 1.5 months or so. So initially it will be the TSR will be about 5 to 7, between 5 to 7%, and in the long run we intend to take it to about 20 plus. So that will take some time, but the first phase is about 6 to 7%. Next slide takes you to our on the green power what we are talking about, and you can see our trajectory. We commissioned our WHR in the first quarter of calendar year 2016, and from there we have moved, and we are now today at green power is 27, but very soon when this power ticks in for us for solar power and all that, we will be close to touching around 30% of our green power. We have shown you in the map, we have signed an agreement of 22 gigawatt power in Jhansi. Here we are at 5.5 megawatt is ready, and Ammasandra is virtually on 90% on green power. So these are the 3 plants which consume power here. Coming to the next, we are proud to announce that we continue our efforts to achieve carbon neutrality and water positivity, and you can see that today we stand at 4.4x water positive. This journey continues to motivate us, and that we are targeting to do better this year. Little bit this is a old record, which is a year-old assessment done by TUV. But when we see this year, I'm sure definitely the efforts what we have put in during the last year, there should be some improvement on water positivity. It should be improved from 4.4 and above. Our commitment to CSR and obligation to the society remains undeterred. And out of that, in the Jhansi plant, we have given a full oxygen generating plant dedicated to the society. You can see the picture of that. Then we come to take you to we are quite a lot into supporting the public health care enforcement there, and we are putting up small PSCs in small villages. We are putting up a building with few beds, so the people can get basic necessities of health and hygiene treatments can be given to them. Government is supportive. Government has come forward to give us the places. We are constructing them and handing over to them, and we will keep supporting them to whatever extent is possible to run these CSCs also in the long run. We also committed to education and then we have done quite a lot of government schools which we have refurbished, and this is where you can see the picture of some of the schools dedicated to the government for the good cause. Coming to the slide number 10, you can see that we have kept last 4 years of performance before you, and you will see that in quarter by quarter we have shown a positive trend only over the previous ones, and this year it is 11% in the September quarter of 2021. The growth is 11%. Now where have we suffered? Let us see this. Okay, on the coal side, I have put an index of the coal here, considering that, and coal has been a major impact to us, which is same is the case with petcoke. Petcoke has risen through the roof. We earlier used to buy petcoke at close to $85 or $100. Today it is crossing anywhere huge amount, but anyway for the Damoh Jhansi it is a local petcoke, but local petcoke is also priced in line with what is the import landing. So nobody gives you free anything. So petcoke, the domestic petcoke is also priced aligned to the arrival price of the imported petcoke. And we are suffering here on this part. On the packaging side, because crude has gone up from $40 to close to almost $78, $75, $78. It is almost doubled in last few years, and you can see that when crude goes up, the PP granule goes up, and the packing material also goes costly. On the power side, there has been an improvement because of our sourcing of power from various sources, non-grid sources. Today our grid is 60% and close to another 40% is non-grid for us. Coming to fly ash, as it is very constant, but when today we are suffering, the industry will suffer in the long run to come with also with impact of power plant shutdowns, and getting fly ash will become, and for us it is 100% blended, so we have to somehow source the fly ash from somewhere or the other to keep our business going on. Diesel, no hidden fact. that it used to be close to about 80 rupees a liter. It is now shot up to close to 100 rupees and plus. And the journey continues. I don't think it is going to stop at this level also. You have seen the slide number 12, which is in front of you. You will observe that our volumes are better, our revenues are better, but because of the cost, there is an impact. Another thing is, you may ask me that why is the price compared to, why is our price not increased to that extent? So let me forewarn on this, that when I compare the quarter of last year September, our prices, you would see the results of last year's quarter. We were already running 2% plus at that point, that quarter, and that is the base effect for us. The base was higher as compared. So I don't want to compare it with what is happening elsewhere in the industry, but there will be definitely questions you will ask that why others are improving and yours, but it is also because of our higher base. Taking you to slide 13, you will observe that from 1137 EBITDA per ton, we dropped to about 946, and you will see power and fuel is one of the biggest disturbing points for us. GSR minor here and there. Raw materials, everything is going up. Now everything is in a costly mode. So these are some of the areas which I think we will have to find out a way to pass it on to the market. I will talk about this. You will have definitely questions on this. Coming to our slide 14, you will see our balance sheet. The balance sheet is almost of the same size. So nothing major change. Probably you may have some questions on investments, which Anil will answer to you. Debt and our debt payments, repayments, you can see in this particular slide. By December, we will be virtually debt free. This 120 crores, we will pay it in the month of December, and thereafter there is no interest charge on this. So there will be an upside on this count in them. And then there is a long-term interest-free loan to us available with us from the government, which is about 235 crores, which is with us. Taking you to slide 16, our volumes are about 45% by road, and we have moved from petcoke. Petcoke has shot to almost close to 580 rupees a gigajoule, almost 600, touching now even more. Then coal is something like around 410, 20, 30. So coal becomes a cheaper option for us, and that's how we have changed our recipe for fuel. Coming to we sell about premium bags. That is about 21. Not in a hurry. We will touch about 25% very easily, but with a respectable price. And this difference in price is consistently in premium. I must mention it very categorically. We started with a premium of close to about 25 rupees. Today it is about more than 35 to 40 rupees in premium bags. 83% of our trade sales is there, and there is I'm sure this is a very healthy balance to maintain. Taking to the last thing which you must be aware of, that we have already inoculated our employees, and that almost quite a lot of them have been, most of them have been inoculated, I would say. Still there are some people to be going for round 2. So I think in another 3 months time we will have 100% of our employees, including contract workmen and including their families, inoculated. So there is some resistance at some levels, but then I think now we will be able to manage that. We have elections in 22, so there is an upside there for the elections. So we should see a good run in UP for cement. Domestic coal and fuel prices, as I mentioned, this is one of our major concerns, which is a concern for as a national concern, equally a concern for the cement industry. So we'll have to find ways and means to battle with this. with such high prices of coal, we do not expect that the government will be kind enough to continue absorbing these and giving us subsidies. So we should expect power prices also to go up, because now coal, normal coal, they were using high fly ash coal, high ash coal, and now today, yeah, they're using low ash coal also. So I am very clear about it that the government will not be able to sustain these type of costs in the long run, and they will have to be ultimately passed on to the consumers. Raw materials, had to be sourced from long distance, and especially fly ashes and other things. And we had this fear of third wave, but I think it is subsided to a lot an extent. Coming to the China crisis, when we talk about China crisis globally, I can only think, that if this will help or not help, I don't know. But any equipment which are new capacities who have placed orders on China for equipment, their capacities will get delayed. And if that happens, the capacity expansions what were planned, it may not come through. Today also the countrywide demand will be estimated. I expect that this year will end up at about 10 to 12%, between 10 and 12%. The demand projections are there, and I think the country will deliver that against that. Price trends to talk about, I am foreseeing that these type of costs cannot be kept with us on our books, on our document. It has to be passed on to the consumer. We are taking price increases now. In UP, we started taking price increases from 1st of this month. So far we have taken increases close to between 10 to 15 rupees in central India. Another increase we have taken today of about 10 rupees increase in central India. Tomorrow or 10 day after, we will take another further increases, and we are expecting that central India prices to move from an average 360 rupees a bag. It should touch to about 400 a bag when we open up November. As of now, that's my view on this, because coal is getting limited with the industry and everywhere, and as the coal prices go up and with the risk of stopping production is going to be there, it is better to get your money for the assets what you have. So this will continue, and I am sure that hopefully that November end you should see a price plank of 450, and going further, I am hoping that we open up the new year, which might be a good music to your ears. I would say it is 500 rupees. That is what my thinking is. We should open 2022 with rupees 500 a bag in central India. That's my view on this. And thank you once again, and I leave the floor to Vaibhav. And before we conclude the meeting also, I would wish everybody here present as a happy Diwali to you, because some of you may be there for a short while and then could disconnect. So I wish every one of you and your families also a happy Diwali. All the best to you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Okay. One just before I close it, we have sent out this time the industry's first digital annual report. I don't think anybody has so far. Actually, not many industries also from manufacturing sector have provided a digital. I have seen one which was made in somewhere outside the country, and I was impressed by that. And I said, let us make an attempt to come out with a good annual report which gives you a very clear snapshot of what business we do and what is our basic philosophy. So how are we driven as an organization, and that helps us to whether it is sustainability or whether it is anything which is tried to capture it, and I hope you have seen it, and I would be very happy to receive your feedback on the same so we can improve it for the year next. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may please press star, then 1 on their touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star, then 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Anyone who wishes to ask questions, please press star, then 1. The first question is from the line of Ritesh Shah from Investec. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. Thanks for the opportunity. Sir, my first question is, thanks for your commentary specifically on the pricing, wherein you indicated that it should technically move from 360 rupees to 400 rupees per bag in November, and then basically target will be 450 and hopefully by 500 rupees start of new year. So just wanted to understand the rationale. Basically, is it on back of the cost inflation that is something that we are staring at, and hence this aggressive price increases? So just wanted to understand the rationale, sir. If you can explain it on a rupees per kcal basis on what it is right now and what it would be next quarter and quarter after. Just trying to understand price and cost.
So, I would say the costs are going up by close to 400 rupees, which will basically more because of fuel and other costs which are likely to be. So it will be, you can understand that, these costs which we have been absorbing have to be now cumulatively passed on to the market. So these prices are purely on cost basis, because we cannot take these costs any longer. You have seen our margin fall from 24.6 to come to 24, almost 400 basis points it has fallen. You cannot keep this sort of arrangement with going on and not pass on the losses to. Lastly, we could not pass it during the last quarter, basically because of the monsoon season. Demand remains subdued. So at that point of time, opportunity was not there. But now, even I would have said, we could have taken a smaller increase and done away with it. But I am seeing that the pet coke and the future pet cokes which are being coming and the pipeline seems to be totally on a very high load basis. So it cannot be now that if today we don't take a price increase, okay, then when will we take? I think it would be very unfair to the shareholders of the company.
Sir, that's very useful. Sir, if I just may dig into this, sir, how should one understand the fuel sourcing strategy for the company, say pet coke, thermal coal, linkage? What is our sourcing strategy when it comes to if say I'm in the company? Obviously, I'll be in a position where I'll have to think whether should I book the contracts for Jan to March or should I wait for the prices to cool off. So how should one understand it, spot buying versus long-term purchase, medium-term contracts? Sir, what is the thought process over here?
So Ritesh, today today's the situation is so fluid that even long-term contracts people are not ready to honor. So there is no strategy. Okay. So if you would have a strategy depends on the commitment on both sides. So if your long-term contract from March or whatever the contracts you had earlier contracts also which they were supposed to mature now, they are being denied. The government itself is denying the contracts. Okay, the whatever the auction coal what we have, the government has refused to give it to us. They say we'll give priority. So there is no honoring on the commitment. There is no gentleman's promise which is for coming through on the table. So what do you do under such a situation? It is a situation like COVID. Okay, people had the money to get to the hospital and get themselves treated. But today, in like a COVID situation, today coal has become a situation. You pay any price, you don't get a coal. At the same time, COVID, when you had the money, you did not get a hospital room. Today, you can't get a coal rig. So this is the situation which we are into. Now there is no strategy at this point of time. It is a do or die situation. You have to live by the day.
Sir, we do have the fuel supply long-term fuel supply agreement with the Coal India, and we have the valid allotment. With the Coal India at this moment, they are focusing and giving priority to the power plant. So I think we need to continue pursuing with the government as well as the supplier, and we are also exploring various possibility to ensure that there should not be any problem in the production for want of fuel or want of pet coke or coal. At the same time, we are also working on the this AFR part, the alternative fuel. Already trial run has started, although it will be very minuscule at this moment, the consumption, but it will support to replace the fossil fuel in the long run in the business.
So Ritesh, one point which I want to make it here is that our Production will not stop. Okay, we will manage to run the same. That is the strategy as of now.
Perfect, sir. Sir, I have questions on growth. I will come back in the queue, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Kunal Sharma from SMC Private Wealth. Please go ahead.
Hello, sir. Thanks for the opportunity. Just one question I have. Sir, our EBITDA per ton, industry is showing the positive EBITDA per ton growth with an increasing demand and the increasing ASP in quarter one. But our EBITDA is showing the degrowth over the last 2 quarters. So is it because of the cost inflation and the lower ASP price? So can we expect the more carton EBITDA per ton going forward, or are we passing it to the customers?
So let me tell you that when you are comparing our EBITDA per ton for this quarter, okay, compared to the previous year, okay, it is lower because, as I said, my base of September was higher last year, 2020.
Okay. So then what about the are we going to passing it to the customer going forward?
So, that is what we have started doing it. So far we have taken increases of almost 10 to 15 rupees. Today we have taken another 10 rupees increase, almost 25 rupees is into the market. So that even if I take 25, that is makes to close to about 500 rupees a ton. Out of 500 tons, at least after taking off tax deduction, also it will 35 will come to you.
Okay. And lastly, what's the capacity utilization as of now? Are we doing well?
It is about 78%. 78%.
78%. Okay. Fair enough. Thank you.
Thank you. To ask a question, please press star, then 1. The next question is from the line of Kalpit Narvekar from Alliance Global Investors. Please go ahead.
Hello, sir. Thanks for taking my question. Sir, my first question was on the side of the broader industry. So in central India, what are the could you share what is the sort of premium that you charge in the market versus say other peers, and how is the brand perceived versus the other peers in the central India market? Some color on that.
So it's a big fabric. Central India is a big fabric. I don't say that but if I would say that, okay, if you compare it, we will be in the category of A-class brands. So somewhere between the A category also we compete. Somewhere some are higher, somewhere we are higher. So it keeps switching off from market to market. But nowhere in central India we are under the B category.
Sir, so is it possible, like on a per bag basis, say versus Ultratech or something, how much would be
I would refrain from with any competition. I would refrain very strongly because it is unethical to compare with any brand or anything. I have seen sometimes some companies have come out with some surveys by some other companies and reported some wrong figures. It was totally misleading. But I would still not dare. I would ethically I will refrain from commenting on that as a competitor. Every brand has a strategy, and every brand has what should I say? Its face value. So we have a reasonably good face value in the market. And MySem is a good, I would say quite a few customers are very loyal to us. We have a very loyal network with us, and they have been here with us for years together. So we enjoy a premium. Mostly, it is not only the product which enjoys the premium. It is also our dealers who enjoy the premium because of their positioning and their single-handedly dealing with us for years together. So it's a combination of everything. But I'm sorry that I cannot answer your question about premiums between. I can only say that I am an A category brand. Between A category and B category brand, there is a difference of easily 10 rupees. And then there is another 10 rupees difference between B and C, or 15 rupees between B and C. So if you compare from C, you will be close to 20 rupees higher. 20-25 rupees higher from a C category player. And if you compare this with a sold rate material which comes on fly-by-night operators, which is others material, there you will find that between A category and the fly-by-night operators, the price difference is as high as 50 to 60 rupees and sometimes even 70.
That's quite helpful, sir. And just one more question on you mentioned that the trajectory you expected to go to 450 per bag and 500 per bag in November and say hopefully next year. So just wondering how does that the competitive scenario playing out, is it necessary that all the competition or the market raises prices for this to play out, or you can sort of go ahead and raise prices on your end?
Kalpit, if you ask me that, the coal is something and raw material input which is common to all. Okay, if it is hurting me, it will hurt others also. So I'm not worried about what others are doing or not. I'm clear about it. We have started taking price increases from 1st of this month, whether who does what not. For me, it is my material is selling. Okay, even at 15 rupees a bag, I have a higher price. If my material is selling and I'm doing well in the market till 20th of this month, my sales figures are okay with me. I would say that what is wrong in increasing the prices further? And my team is aligned to this thought process that we have to pass it on to the market. Otherwise, we will end up with bad results year after month, quarter after quarter. And the team is committed. Okay, so as long as the sales team understands that that we have to pass it on to the consumer, and the consumer is ready to buy. Today, let me tell you, where is the steel price which has reduced? Okay, so we have seen in this last 6 months, it is a one trajectory. It is north only. Which commodity has come down in the last 7 months, 8 months? There is not a single thing where I have found that anything has come down. Cement has been a late starter. Cement has to start moving now. Now it has to pick up speed and move up to that level. I think it is very fair to pass on these increases. You can't keep it with you. And tomorrow, if God forbid, the government decides to increase power, or power also cost of power, then we had it. I think we can. I have, at least if you ask me, I am impatient about it.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Dipanshu Jain from HEM Securities. Please go ahead.
Hello.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Just wait a minute, sir. Sir, actually, I want to know views on coal and fuel cost in coming future. So, can you just throw some light on fuel cost? What will be the fuel cost in coming future down the line?
Devanshu, the issue is, today it is a very fluid situation. We cannot predict today. It is at a very high price at the moment. But if how China fares, okay, China is really craving for material, but it is not getting material. So how China absorbs, because if North China is under a blackout, their power plants are down, they will start pulling coal. So in the near future, in the coming 3-4 months, I don't see that any relenting which happens. Maybe after another 3, 4, 5 months or so, or maybe if it extends, it will be something in the second half of the next year, calendar year. You can see something happening, changes may start happening from. See, today the demand is at its peak. Everybody is running. Probably it is also a little bit of a result of a panic buying. Okay, so when the material is not available, panic buying, when it takes over, this sort of frenzy is not good for the market. And I cannot control the frenzy of the market. So I am anticipating that, it will, the coal and the fuel will cost people now in the ranges of something like 600 rupees a gigajoule. Should come, these type of costs should come there.
Sure, sure. Sure, sir. That's it from my side. Thanks for the answer.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, in order to ensure that the management is able to address questions from all participants in this conference call, please limit your questions to two per participant. For any further questions, you may come back for a follow-up. Also, to ask a question, press star and one. The next question is from the line of Harsh Mittal from Systematics. Please go ahead.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, Harsh.
Thanks for taking my question. I have one question about what is the volume guidance for the 2H FY22? Given the price guidance if you have given, do you feel the market, Central Indian market, will be able to stomach such type of price hikes?
See, it is like when commodity prices are gone up, nothing has stopped from that. So I don't think cement is going to be an exception here. People will continue to buy. People who are building houses, construction is happening. Where people are still buying steel at 75,000 rupees today. Okay, they were buying the same steel at 45 and 48,000 and 50,000 today. They are still buying it, and that is also they have to wait for some of the material, some of the steel rods and bars and things like that. They still have to wait for 2 days or 3 days to get material. Similar is the situation with cement is going to happen. And God forbid, if some of us run out of coal stock or our fuel stock and we have to stop the plants, okay, I am sure that this 500 rupees, you will see it in the coming few days only. Why wait till January of the month? Yes.
Given you have given us the fly ash price trajectory, given we have a good amount of blended cement, almost 100%, don't we have long-term contracts for fly ash with power plants?
Harsh, we have fly ash contracts. We have everything, but it is like this, as I said that, the person who is going to supply you, he should have also that. If his power plant is shut down for the last 15 days for want of coal, whatever you try to do, where are you going to take it from it? The person says, "Ab यहाँ पे रखा हुआ है, आपको चाहिए तो ले जाना." ठीक है, अब जब रखा ही नहीं है वहाँ पे मटेरियल तो क्या करेंगे?
Okay. So last question, sir. What is the lead distance for this quarter?
350.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Prateek Kumar from Antique Stock Broking. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir. Thanks for the opportunity. My first question is, so you mentioned about 70% coal mix for the quarter, which has sort of gone up quarter on quarter. So this coal is like largely domestic coal, and if the supply stops from government, so we'll have to shift to imported coal completely. I mean, is there a large imported coal component also here?
This is all combination of. Right now, we have not imported any coal for Central India. We have not imported anything right now. But it is a mix of auction coal, FSA agreements. So there are all sorts of. It's a combination from local purchase, close on spot buying from different sources. So it is a mix of. If you can give them some percentages, if there are.
Actually, sir, during this quarter we purchased some coal from open market also. This open market trader, maybe they have some kind of mix of imported coal or maybe local coal, but we have not made any kind of imports directly from the exporter. And during this quarter, actually, we could not receive a major portion from the Coal India. So most of the.
That's the biggest problem for us.
Yeah. And at this moment, as we speak, there is maybe for a few days we will see that the Coal India will supply only to the power plant. And then when the situation will ease out, then we will start getting coal against our fuel supply agreement.
Even again, here I want to add that, it is not only the Coal India may supply. Even the railways are saying that, we will not give wagons for movement of coal to private sector.
And Prateek, I think we should appreciate one more point here that whatever the domestic petcoke supplier, they generally try to interlink their pricing with the international petcoke prices. So during last 1 month, all these domestic suppliers, they are increasing every fortnight, they are increasing significantly their petcoke prices. And they also know the ground reality. That the cement company, they are not able to get the coal from the Coal India as well as the imported petcoke prices. It is $250 at this moment, $260 at this moment, the CIF imported petcoke. So that's why they have been also increasing the significantly due to petcoke prices.
Oh, okay. Sir, my follow-up question on related to this power. So what is our power mix in terms of grid power, thermal power, and green power?
So it is 60% right now grid power, 40 is our through non-grid and through our own.
And just one question on other expense. Was there a one-off component in other expense, or is it just reflecting the inflation trends during the quarter?
I think there is no during this quarter we have one kiln shutdown, as well as now because of the volume growth and the market is coming back, all the admin costs which were not used to be in the last September quarter, so those are the normal expenditure. So we are coming back to normal with respect to traveling, with respect to our self-promotional activities, and there is some element in the other expenditure is the diesel price increase. So diesel, all the stores and consumables are also part of the other expenditure. So these are the normal ones. If the diesel price reduce, you will have some reduction, but there is no one-off item here.
Sure. Thank you, sir, and all the best.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Amit Murarka from Axis Capital. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi, good afternoon. So, my question was around the cost and price dynamics. So, like, if I got you right, you said that cost inflation is about 400 rupees per ton.
Yes.
So, firstly, like, when you're shifting from, or let's say the domestic coal availability is reducing and you're, let's say, having to go for alternate sources, be it petcoke or imported coal, won't the jump in cost be much higher given that the imports are coming in at $240 to $250?
So, going forward, we say that yes, going forward, because as you get your, we will bake in not the future values of the coal, but we will bake in and whatever is available with us or what is in the pipeline at whatever we have sourced. So that will last us till the next quarter and the beginning of the early quarter. On that basis, we are making our estimates that this will be like this. But yes, you are right that if I want to be an opportunistic, and then I will say, okay, let us bake in the future cost also, and the future cements will be available at this price only. And if I would say very clearly that we have told our dealer channel partners also very clearly that please don't be under the impression that this increases are temporary and you can postpone your purchase decisions, and you will be only like the stock exchange, kal khareedta to acha tha. Very simple and straight. Now trajectory is up, movement up.
Okay, so this 400 rupee per ton inflation is what, roughly 3Q inflation over 2Q?
Yeah, now it is there already there in the system. It is already there.
In September, September already there is some inflation has come, because whatever the coal and petcoke diesel price increase that to some extent already happened in the month of September. So out of this 400 rupees, you can say little bit amount already part of the Q2 result, but most of the part will come in Q3.
Okay. And then Q4 there could be further inflation given how coal prices have been behaving then.
It depends upon how this development of the coal availability or the petcoke availability, domestic as well as the international market movement happens, or the development happens. But at this moment we see really extraordinary, unexceptional increase in the petcoke, imported petcoke and the coal price.
Okay. And also, there was some inflow of material from south players. So now with the cost going up, are you seeing that also coming down, the supplies from the southern players?
Well, there will be some tapering off will happen. But when we increase the prices, that balance equilibrium will again be available. That liquidativeness of the market will remain. So Central India, operates at close to about 70% utilization, 70 plus. South India operates close to about 55 to 60% utilization. So attractiveness of the market will remain. The moment we take the price to 500, we should not be very, saying that, we will not take the price because somebody else will come to the market. At least I am not of the view, okay? I am of the view that what is it important for us to do in Central India as a player, as one of the lead players in the market. I am very clear about this. My team is very clear about it. Sir, इसको आप price को pass on करो.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Vaibhav from Joyce International. Please go ahead.
Hello.
Yeah, Vaibhav.
Yes, sir. I just wanted to ask, what is your current lead distance?
350.
350 kilometers?
Yeah.
Yes, sure. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Pratik Maheshwari from HSBC. Please go ahead.
Thank you for the opportunity. Sir, I wanted to ask you about the demand sentiment right now in Central India. While you have grown at 11%, one of your peers had mentioned that the growth was flat during the quarter or YOY. So just wanted to understand if there is some bottleneck in terms of infrastructure segment growth.
I think this time the agricultural production has been good. Monsoons have been good. Little bit extended monsoons are there. The demand, I think, will remain strong. We expect that in next year with the elections in UP, things should remain positive only. Demand we will clock close to between 10 and 12% for financial year 22, and going next year we should expect at least nothing less than 10% growth.
This is both for the company and the industry, right, sir?
Pardon?
This is both for the company and the industry?
I'm talking more about the industry growth.
Okay. Sir, other thing that I wanted to ask was in terms of, so the current cost increase could probably let you increase the prices by so much, but usually we are seeing the prices are after, if price hike sustain, they're sticky at that level. So do you think in a normal fuel price scenario, this would be an opportunity for South players to kind of establish capacities in Central India if the prices kind of increase and sustain from a longer term perspective?
If I get you correctly, you are saying that will South players come in and establish capacities here? That is what are you saying?
Yeah, sir. Because usually, sir, we have seen that these petcoke and fuel prices, they would kind of so Central India, we are seeing cement prices have been kind of stable for a very long time. And if you are able to sustain this price hike, probably again the pricing level itself increases, even if the cost will normalize later. So for any other player, it could mean that they could kind of have an opportunity to establish capacity or dealer network.
So that will happen. These are the market dynamics. We should not be getting worried about this. Supply and demand ratios will decide who will come to the market, what prices they sell. Automatically, if there is a lot of surplus today, also if you look at it, traditional players in Central India. I just was seeing that in this last 7 quarters data I was observing, and I saw that almost now in Central India, 35% share belongs to non-traditional players in this market. So it used to be 8%. 7 quarters earlier it used to be close to about 8 to 10% market share. They used to come, now they are close to about 30% market share, 30-35%. They have already penetrated this market. So I don't think, this will deter this should deter, at least to me, that is not a deterrent. Okay, if somebody can come and develop a market and they can also keep themselves busy with this market, very happy. It's okay. So good to see more competition happening. No problem in that. For me, it is, if competition was not there, then what is the sense? Our value is dependent only on competition.
Okay.
There has to
Sure,
be
sir, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Peter Uday from Sema Wealth Management. Please go ahead.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, Uday.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the opportunity. I just wanted to confirm what you said before about demand. So for FY22, we're estimating 10 to 12% demand in Central India volume-wise.
I think I'm talking about more of the country-wise.
The country-wise. FY23, what was the figure you mentioned, sir?
Same, it should clock 20, about 10% at least.
Okay, sir. So the thing, my first question is that about 1,231 kilotons of sales volume has been reported this quarter. So at 574 crores, it comes about 46.8 lakhs was the selling price overall. You have made it clear that due to cost pressures, you and other participants in the industry will be raising prices. And we agree that people are willing to buy. But according to you, at what point is the price going to be elastic? Because it cannot keep exponentially growing, right? So how much is the leeway that companies like you can push from the current point, price increase, at which the demand will have to take halt or slow down?
I think demand will halt only after 550 rupees probably.
550 per bag.
My reading is there, at 450 also and 475 also, there will be no relenting in demand.
So at 550 per bag, the demand you feel might take a halt, huh?
Yeah, maybe 500 once it crosses reaches the mark of 500. But still they can take, unfortunately, Pladis, now they have a 2,000 rupees note. They can give and get 4 bags. So, not a problem. I think, the now prices is, like Amit is telling me very clearly here. Okay, today we are the cheapest product on earth, manufactured product. Okay, after putting $125 to $130 per ton investing, you are selling cement at which is even cheaper than the Raddi. Raddi is today 11 to 12 rupees a kg. Okay, today where is cement? Cement is just only 5 rupees a kg, 6 rupees a kg.
But we are not talking about the exponential price increase. We are talking about whatever the cost increase happens. That is around 400 rupees per ton of cement. Putting together the fly ash cost, the diesel prices, all other commodities which is used for the manufacturing cement and clinker and including fuel. The cost impact is 400 rupees at this moment. And now 400 rupees is more or less, when we talk about the price increase, this is translate to around 40 rupees per bag, because GST more than 1/3 in any case goes for the tax account. So the amount comes to the company in order to maintain the margin. It is a reasonable expectation to increase the price, although depends upon the demand supply situation. If tomorrow people start not buying cement, then who's going to increase the price? But at this moment there is good demand. The government is also putting impetus on the infrastructure growth, and now once the festival season, Diwali, after that, hopefully the demand will further increase, so we'll be able to pass on to the customers.
So Uday, let me put to another point here is, at one point of time the cement industry was making margins of close to about 30 plus, 35% plus. Okay, today they are come down to sometimes some of the players are even in a very bad shape. I think the industry requires its share of margin so that it can keep expanding. Another thing is, let me tell everybody here, for the who are listening here, that the future is going to be still costlier, because the ESG, when it starts clicking in, the investments required for carbon capture and investments they will be huge, stupendous. And for your information, very soon Indonesia will have a carbon cess, CO2 cess of $2, which is already being contemplated. So you look at it in Europe already there is a cess of CO2 cess of close to about 38 euros. Now these type of investments and these type of cesses, if we have to deal with, contend with, where will the money, the industry will bring in money? Today, if you don't start investing, if you don't have a healthy return, you will not be able to, by 2030, when you have to meet the targets of your ESG, you will be really, twiddling your thumbs. You don't know where to go then. So now only we have to start investing in our ESG and become compliant. So those are huge costs. These will not, you will not be able to afford them at margins of 13% and 14%, sure.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, to ask a question, please press star, then 1. Please note, this is a final reminder for questions, and no further reminders will be placed after this. The next question is from the line of Pinakin Parekh from JP Morgan. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much, sir, for the opportunity. So just trying to understand the maths, because you mentioned 400 rupees per ton of cost increase, but you also said 350 rupees a bag going to 400 and then 400 going to 450. So essentially it implies that the December quarter EBITDA per ton can be around 200 to 300 rupees per ton higher than the September quarter, even with what the costs are baked in, given the price increases in cement?
You can yes, for the time being at least be happy with that. At least we can think of that. At least let us start thinking of it, that we are able to pass on this type of cost to the market and restore back to our normalcy. Okay, what we used to be. That is what my target is. We are fair to the shareholders. We are not doing a good job at all, I'm telling you.
When you're looking at, restoring EBITDA margins, as management, you're looking at going back to 1,400 rupees per ton or higher than that. So when you're looking at price hikes, what is the broad EBITDA per ton you're looking to restore after the cost increases?
So Pinakin, let us say that 1,300, 1,400 rupees in today's time, it is a reasonable achievement to reach.
Sure, sir. So basically 450 rupees a bag will take you there. So would that be a fair assumption, sir?
Should be, I suppose so. It should be taking there. The subject to that, no further diesel increases come in or further this. Otherwise, it will again eat up into this.
Understood. This is very helpful. Thank you very much, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, due to time constraints, we take the last question from the line of Rajesh Ravi from HDFC Securities. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi sir. Good afternoon. My question pertains to first on the, could you give a breakup between your green power, which you're sourcing it from WHR, solar and others, and on the costing for the various sources, and second on your growth capex plan?
Okay. So on the WHR component, for my Narsingarh plant, it is close to about 40% of the power comes from WHR, for Narsingarh unit alone. And if I look at the power share for the total as a WHR, it will be close to about 23-24%, between 22 to 24% of my total power. And
if you can talk on company basis, sir.
Our component for the whole company as such is close to about 27%.
If you could talk on WHR and solar as a company on a company basis.
You can clearly simply remove from 27, 23, that is about close to 4 units. 4% is the power of other than WHR.
And on the costing, sir, how are this PPA solar purchase costing would work at, and your
So we are working on these. These are reasonably priced. I think I would like to refrain from talking about these, because these are business critical issues, how we manage this. So I would prefer to refrain from answering this question. But yes, definitely it will come to us at a far cheaper price than our is sub 6 for us. total cost of power is sub 6, because reason is we have baked in quite a lot of other power from non-grid power sources. So I can only tell you that it is sub 6 now.
Okay. And on the growth capex, if you can talk on, what sort of any major expansion on the west expansion, what are the progress over there?
I will tell you growth capex is.
So we do at this moment the recurring replacement capex, which is generally between 40 to 50 crore rupees. During the current year, we have this environmental capex, which is classified for our alternative fuel project. And the total capex for this alternative fuel is around 16 crore rupees. So that we are doing. Last year, part amount we have incurred, and current year also we are incurring this amount for the alternative fuel. Put together, total capex during the fiscal year will be in the range of 55 to 60 crore rupees.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we take one last question from the line of Bhavin Chheda from Enam Holdings. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir. Thanks for the update. Sir, I missed out if you have mentioned what type of coal inventory you normally have and what is it currently?
Normally about 30 days.
And same you are carrying now, or the tightness has led to the lower number of days?
Almost similar.
Sorry?
Almost similar. We are carrying the same capacity.
Similar. And I said missed out on your coal mix also. What was
it is 70% coal right now and 30% pet coke.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the last question. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Vaibhav Agarwal for closing comments.
Yeah, thank you. On behalf of Phillip Capital India Private Limited, I'd like to thank the man of HeidelbergCement India Limited for the call, and many thanks for participants joining the call. Thank you very much, sir. Stanford will now conclude the call.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Phillip Capital India Private Limited, that concludes this conference. We thank you all for joining us, and you may now disconnect your lines.